What's going on, guys? Thought I'd go ahead and do a quick video today. Unfortunately, my computer's broken, so I can't do any serious video editing. So this next few set of videos are going to be shot and edited on my cell phone. So I hope they end up looking and sounding okay. Anyway, this is the K-Bar Impact Tanto. Apparently this was a really short-lived knife. I believe the production started in 2003 and then ended around 2006, and they've been discontinued since. I picked mine up at my local store in 2008 for around 50 bucks. The ones I have seen now go for 80 and 100 if you can find them. But anyway, it's a real good knife. It's full tang, 1095 high carbon steel with a Rockwell hardness of 56 to 58. It's got an overall length of, let's see here, 9¼ inches, weighs about 5 ounces, and a blade length of 4 inches and 5/8. So it's a pretty good sized knife. One nice feature that I like about it is, I don't know if you can actually tell here or not, but the belly of the knife has just the slightest curve to it. Most Tantos are completely flat. I find with a slight curve that helps with carving a little bit and, doing general tasks. As a bushcraft knife, Tanto blade, yes or no? It's personal opinion. Personally, in some cases I like it. I like to be able to use the tip, kind of as a chisel to do different tasks, depending on what you're doing. Or you can get down on it real good and get a real chisel kind of effect, which works nice if you're trying to grind something out or, make some kind of tool or something. So I find that useful. Sometimes I find it not so useful. Again, it just depends on what you're doing and what your uses are and what you're familiar with. But otherwise, a really good blade. It's got a very nice, see how close we can get here. It's got a very nice thick spine to it. Some really good jimping. That'll come into focus at all. Well, the jimping's pretty good on it. It feels good in the hand, on the fingers. It's not too sharp. Your thumb sinks down into it really well. These knives come a couple different styles. They come in what they call the spear point, the Tanto blade, and what they call the warthog. All of these can be had in micarta and or Zytel handles, which is kind of very similar. It's kind of like a really tough ABS plastic kind of thing. It's pretty comfortable. It's also featured in 1095 carbon steel and D2. Again, I'm not sure which models those pertain to. I think this one only came with the Tanto blade only came with a selection of micarta handles, but again, they're pretty hard to find. The blade is hollow ground at an angle of 20 degrees. It's really easy to sharpen, and being 1095 carbon steel, stays sharp real easy. The blade has a nice epoxy coat on it that has held up pretty well. Unfortunately, I haven't got as much use out of this knife as I would have liked. This was kind of my first quote-quote bushcraft knife that I picked up for, unfortunately, due to the sheath, I never got much use out of it. Go ahead and take a look at that. Sheath is, it's nothing special. I've seen worse though. Typical nylon sheath, holes down at the bottom, drain hole. It's got a plastic insert so the knife doesn't fall out. It does a pretty good job of that. The retention is good. Unfortunately, since I put the handle wrap on, it no longer closes. So that is one reason why I never carried it. Kind of never got around to getting a new sheath for it. One of these days I will. On the back, it's got your typical Velcro and button. I find this to be a good feature. Easy on, easy off on the belt, so that you don't have to take your belt off, depending on what kind of rig you're wearing, so that's convenient. Or hooks onto other things quite easy. This is their K-Bar Eagle. Whatever, okay. Anyway, it's a decent sheath. It seems fairly well stitched, but again, as you can see, it's had virtually no use whatsoever. And it'll probably stay that way. But again, for the 50 bucks that I paid for it, it's a decent sheath. What else can I tell you about this knife? Definitely easy to baton with. Nice thick blade, so you're not going to have any problem with that. Full tang. The scales are removable, I believe. That you can see that in it, but there are a screw there and there. Those come off. The handles are quite comfortable. Sorry guys, isn't the best camera angle, but you can kind of see how it tapers down up in here, and it does give a nice good grip in the hand. So it's quite comfortable. Shoals run nice on it, and it's not too far near the the actual cutting edge. So if you happen to come up, you're not going to cut yourself immediately. It's got what they call the glass breaker back end. And it's just a pointed tip, no big deal. But yeah, you could break glass with it. Overall, I mean, it's a real sturdy knife. It's definitely you could certainly consider this a fighting knife, no doubt. It's not every day you got to go stab through car doors or 50-gallon drum liners, but you certainly could. But either way, again, it's to the user's preference whether you like a Tanto blade or not. This would be a good urban / bushcraft knife. You can accomplish all your tasks. It's not going to break on you. You're certainly not going to break the tip, or more than likely not. So all in all, a good knife. But again, yeah, it was a real short-lived one. Not sure why. I guess it wasn't picked up that well, but I don't know, man. I think it's a great knife. Good design, comfortable, good features, good steel, full tang. So right there, it meets a lot of requirements. But again, I'll leave that up to you. So anyway, so the knife itself is pretty easy to work with. Kind of at a funny angle here. Let's see if we can get this. But you can make feather sticks real nice and easy with it. It's no problem. You can also, if you wanted to, it's got a little bit of it. Well, by now it's got, since I've sharpened it some, it's got a slight bit of a convex edge on it. Stuff on that works well. Initially, it was a little more scanty grind, to the very edge of it. But again, works nice and easy. See, this is where I like to be able to use the tip sometimes. Again, depends on the carving task, of course, but. And again, not standing up and being at a funny angle helps. But again, works well. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this. If you can find one of these knives, I recommend checking it out. It fits well in the hand and easy to use. I've been pleased with it so far. Again, I haven't used it that much, but from what I have used already, I've already beaten it more than I have seen, some other knives would take and would break. So it's definitely a sturdy little knife. If you can find one, check it out. Thanks guys.